Well, you don't always get a call from the president. That's pretty unusual, and even in the CEO's life to have that happen. I accepted being the chair of the commission at President Reagan's request. The scale of looking at industrial competitiveness for a nation is a huge job. We needed an organization that could own that agenda and come together periodically to freshen it and be the advocates when these particular issues came up, like trade policy or manufacturing success, and have some really knowledgeable, in-depth people.
I think John understood that if we were going to really get something done in America, we had to create a multi-stakeholder, bipartisan organization to catalyze action.
We will be setting ourselves and the entire world on a course to a brighter America.
We created a competitiveness index that we published every so often. A lot of initiatives and industry groups took action. We made a lot of progress.
Today, the U.S. economy is challenged in a slow growth period, whether it be tax reform, whether it be focusing on the national debt.
The rate of change derived from technology is so significant now that competitiveness and competitiveness indicators can be affected and fluctuated and negatively impacted in very short time frames if one is not constantly on what do we need to do to be most competitive.
From its inception, the Council on Competitiveness has defined competitiveness as the ability to raise the standard of living for all our citizens and for our companies to compete in the global arena.
The work that Council has done to foster an innovation ecosystem that encourages partnerships and collaborations is its most important legacy.
The Council on Competitiveness is a prosperity incubator, but it's so much more than that. Because just incubating the ideas is fine, but you have to implement them. You have to actually make a difference.
Bringing together people across the sectors, from industry, from labor, from academia, puts people together in a way that they're really creative solutions and breakthrough ideas.
The Council understands the need to bring everyone together. That you cannot actually have an economy that works for all, an economy that is robust and muscular, unless it is an economy that works together.
In terms of being a part of the Council, I think the value add for universities is that you become a part of the national ecosystem for competitiveness, the national ecosystem for innovation.
We have a lot of people and talent at the labs that want to be part of crafting solutions for our country. And the Council gives us a forum for interacting with like-minded individuals.
Really his ability to work together and really find focused pieces of agenda that will drive technology, that really we can bring to market and make businesses more competitive.
It's very important to have organizations like the Council that can get people to step back from some of the heat that's generated in these partisan sort of battles and say, what's good for the country?
There's no question that the Council on Competitiveness played a major role in both the development and the passage of the American Competes Act, as well as its later reauthorization, which has really become the blueprint for America's competitiveness in the 21st century.
Promoting innovation and entrepreneurship, making smart investments in R&D. I co-founded the Senate Competitiveness Caucus with my friend and colleague, Republican Senator Jerry Moran, as a bipartisan forum for fostering a greater awareness and understanding of issues that are critical to U.S. economic growth and global competitiveness. No party has a monopoly on good ideas, and the Council on Competitiveness has made a real and lasting contribution to our finding our way to bridge the partisan divide and craft real and sensible solutions to America's competitiveness challenges.
The Council, in many ways, is an intellectual thought leadership systems integrator. We have a window into the future, but very importantly, we have the players that are making the future around our table.
We hold an annual summit with the Council on Competitiveness. We wound up rolling into the middle of the luncheon the world's first 3D printed car. And that was an exciting moment.
A great idea by the U.S. Council on Competitiveness essentially brought together top CTO and technology leadership from across industry and put them together with our national laboratories, academia, and government officials to really expand the emphasis on these critical policy and partnership issues that enable us to address these concerns.
When we ran the National Innovation Initiative, we came to Atlanta, and we had a major effort here in Atlanta to understand how Atlanta's innovation economy worked. And that was applied and repeated many times over around the country.
Manufacturing is at the heart of the middle class, and it's a thing that the Council is working so hard to address.
Our ability to solve our issues related to energy security tie into our ability to create a new and robust manufacturing sector.
Our American Energy and Manufacturing Competitiveness Partnership, launched at Oak Ridge National Laboratory, has brought together national leaders to help the United States become more competitive in the production of clean energy products.
Training and certification are the keys to the future. We have to create partnerships with everybody to train this workforce, to get this workforce ready for the demands of the future.
We're going to be more dependent than ever on innovation. And I think groups like the Council of Competitiveness that are focused on what we can do to maintain that competitive edge are critically important to our country.
95% of all data created in the world over all times has been created over the past 2 to 3 years.
We're on this incredible accelerated pace of innovation and invention. No other group is like the Council on Competitiveness with its top leaders in our laboratories, national laboratories, and universities.
High-performance computing is giving us tremendous capabilities to model the world, to model designs and their performance. Everyone likes to talk about Moore's Law, where the computer power has been doubling every 18 months. And that's driven productivity gains. It's driven whole new business models that didn't even exist.
Think about what that means as we broaden our ability to decipher what's not known yet and take it to the next level for creating value to society.
We are in a competitive environment, and it's increasingly interconnected. And we have to keep devising new ways to compete.
This is clearly the important role that this council can play.
The Council on Competitiveness is very proud that over the last 30 years we have been a thought leader, we have been an action leader, and we have been a shaper of many of the public policies and the large-scale partnerships that have taken our country forward in terms of its standard of living, its technological leadership, and its voice in the world for the good of all humanity.
I never thought about 30 years ahead for the Council on Competitiveness, but we were encouraged enough to keep going, and I think the evidence is pretty clear after 30 years.
As the CEO of a major company, you've got 1 or 2 organizations like this you can devote your time to, and I prioritize the Council on Competitiveness as number 1.